What's up, everyone? This is All Destroyer 229, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 5 Royal. Last time, we got further along in our confidants with only one confidant remaining, that being Chihiya's. We've still got a long way to go before we need to go and steal Shido's heart, but it's better to probably get done with doing the confidants before really delving into that. In this episode, we're gonna head on over to school and spend some time with Haru, just so that way we can get all the rest of the room decorations. The carrots aren't quite done yet.
Good day.
But we can, at the very least, get a move on getting these decorations. So we are going to spend some time with her.
Yes.
And let me see, where exactly was this? It wasn't Akihabara. Was it? Yeah, it was Tsukishima.
Now, shall we go?
Ah, you're back.
Alright. Well, if you're wondering what that saving icon was, that was for giving gifts because I really need to do more of that. Anyway, let's go ahead and put up the spatula. Now the shelves are all completely filled out. Great. I think the only thing we're really missing is the arrow and just kind of something to put in this corner right here. And obviously the rest of these, but those get unlocked with time. So anyway, this evening, Chihaya is available! So tonight we are going to be spending time with her.
The members seem to be doing well now. I do a phone consultation with them from time to time, and they're all very cheerful. That goes for my fortune teller customers as well. I've been getting thanked a lot more lately, even by the people who get bad fortunes. Particularly when I tell them they can alter their fate.
Well, you've definitely changed from fate is absolute.
That's very true. All I used to say before was that they were going to face misfortune. I had a best friend in the town I used to live in. She was the first person I read a fortune for. When she started avoiding me, I read the fortune of our fate. It was a terrible result, but I prayed that it would somehow work out. However, that never happened. That's when I started to believe that fate couldn't be changed. No surprise though, right? Because I didn't take action on my part to try and change it. I haven't talked to her in years. Maybe I'll try contacting her sometime.
You absolutely should. I mean, friendships can rekindle, right?
Yeah, you're right. Oh, could this be? Ah! The power of conviction is amazing! Her fate and mine are connected! I will no longer be swayed by names like monster or maiden. I am simply a fortune teller who provides advice to people with broken spirits, so that they will have conviction and face their future without getting pushed around by fate. That's the fate I've chosen for myself.
Well, I support you 100%.
Thank you. Now, it's your turn to speak. What would your conviction be as a phantom thief.
Huh?
Sorry, I used fortune telling to find out your true identity. I couldn't help but think that you had something to do with the chairman's confession. Then I discovered that you're the trickster who causes a sensation in the world. It was the same card as the figure who helped me take down the chairman. It finally struck home for me.
Well, gotta say, you're pretty sharp, Chihaya.
I got you good, didn't I? But I don't care what your true identity is. As long as you're around, I can always be my true self. So, it's fine.
Good.
Only, the fate of the Phantom Thieves is rather unclear. The Arcana is set in a tricky position. You can almost say it's facing both heaven and hell. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like it.
Wait. Heaven and hell? What's that supposed to mean?
I'm sorry. I really can't read this sequence. However, I'll be by your side. As the fortune teller who changes fates, I will guide you so you can avoid misfortune.
Thanks, Chihaya. In times like this, it's very reassuring.
I am thou, thou art I. Thou hast turned a vow into a blood oath. Thy bond shall become the wings of rebellion and break the yoke of thy heart. Thou hast awakened the ultimate secret of fortune, granting thee infinite power.
With this, we have once again maxed out the fortune teller confidant of, well, Chihaya Mifune. That of the Fortune Arcana. So, our final reward for Chihaya's Confidant is the Special Bond Reading. And this will allow us to clearly understand what other people are thinking. In other words, it highlights what exactly would give you the most amount of points within any given confidant.
Alright.
I've mentioned this before when we've gone through Chihaya's, well, abilities that you unlock. But this one is particularly good if you are not using a guide or following a let's play like what my series have been. If you're just playing this casually, this is a fantastic ability so that way you don't need to guess on what options give the best results. Now obviously this only works for a given day. So if you're having trouble with certain confidants, or you think that there's one particular one that you just need but you don't quite know, you can always just use this and it can help speed things along. Of course, you could also just save scum, but if you want to do it legitimately without save scumming it, then this is an option for you. And for finishing Chihaya's Confidant, we can now fuse Lakshmi, the most powerful persona of the Wheel of Fortune Arcana. So yeah, you can see here that the actual option is highlighted. So the one that actually gives points will give you, well, that's the one that you should pick. However, some answers may still change the nature of your relationship. This is specifically mentioning dating options, since there are actually instances in which choosing the friendship route gives you more points than going down the romance route, and then other options where they're just the same. So that is also important. I will also note that Akechi's special options also apply to this. I know we haven't shown off what exactly Akechi's things are, but that will be revealed at a later point. Just know that if you're going for specific transactions, this will not highlight what exactly those special options are. This is just for getting confidant points.
Still, what a strange sequence the cards were in when I read the fortune about your true identity. Several cards with strong personalities gathered around the trickster. It's quite improbable. It was almost as if it were trying to connect them together. You either have amazing charisma, or you're a trouble magnet.
Would you believe me if I said I was both?
The verification tests are over, but don't forget about me, okay? Please, visit again sometime.
I will.
Goodbye!
Take care.
Hey.
Alright. So now that we are done with that, we can finally go on ahead and infiltrate the palace. So let's call everyone to the hideout.
Okay.
Everyone's here.
I forget that they actually gathered downstairs in Leblon, but I guess we can hold a meeting. Oh, hey, boss.
Okay. It is time we start the meeting.
Okay, that's enough for now.
That was easy. We're done here, so let's go ahead and infiltrate the palace.
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's head out. I'm counting on you, Joker.
And for once, I actually remember to change everyone's costumes. So anyway, we are good to get going. But first, let's head on over to the central passage. Alright. So now we are good to infiltrate the palace here. Now, I do have a history lesson that I want to go over here. But I think I'm going to hold off on doing the history lesson until until we're into the general corridors, because that sort of things can get rather long and in the tooth, so we'll just go ahead and skip on ahead to whenever there's something new, and then once we hit those corridors, then we can go and do the history lesson. So I guess this is a good time as any to point out that these fights aren't any different compared to the original game. All the letter of introduction fights are exactly the same. You don't need to worry about any sort of potential differences with any of them. So with Yamato no Orochi, just hit it with psychokinesis and you'll be fine. Figured I would at least mention that. Anyway, no sense showing the rest of this fight, unless you just want me to beat up an 8-headed snake. So, we'll just skip on ahead to when something is actually new. So now we've actually reached the passages here. So, yay for more of these puzzles! Oh, joy.
The effects of cognition are low here. Is there a safe room nearby?
Thankfully, unlike with Kanashiro's palace, the game devs decided to actually be kind of merciful this time around and give you a safe room right after the Yamato no Orochi fight.
Nice.
So you can actually have the safe room here and be able to rest up, head back to the Velvet Room, save, do whatever you want, instead of backtracking all the way back to where you first gathered intel. So it's a nice little quality of life change, and I really appreciate it and wish they kind of did this a little bit more often. Before we really get going though, I'm gonna use this opportunity to take advantage of the fusion alarm, and we'll see what I can make. You know, for a level 13 persona, she is going to get so many good skills. So we are fusing away Orpheus and the Emperor's Amulet from a network fusion in order to fuse Orpheus Picaro. Femces Orpheus Picaro to be exact.
Choose which skills to inherit.
Okay, so we can still pass down Savior Bloodline. Ice skills, Wind skills, Psychokinesis skills. So we'll do Savior Bloodline. Guess we can go with Augudine. Cyodyne, because I'm kind of low on Psychokinesis. Not that that would really be the best thing to do. But I could always just use some extra, well, use some extra elements. We'll go for Bufudine, and we will go with, yeah, Freydine.
This should bestow great power indeed. Both of you to work.
I really love the design of Femces Orpheus Picaro. Okay, so let's see what changes. Maragi! Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely change it. Oh boy, freeze boost! Agirao, which we really don't need. Maraku Kanja, which I can get rid of Endure. Dodge Curse, which is better than Freeze Boost. And we're good. Okay, so I just gave Tsukuyomi a little bit of a power boost. I'm pretty sure it just said it went up like 5 levels. Okay, Vorpal Blade. I can get rid of Myra's Slashes. Yeah, it's level 59 now. Wow, that was a lot more than I was expecting. Decrease HP cost of skills. Well, it's just HP, so that would just be Vorpal Blade. I don't really need that. Okay. I just wanted to try to do another fusion while I still had the alarm. That was a lot more than I was expecting from a sacrifice. Holy crap. Oh boy! What do I get? Defense Master. I really don't need that. Attack Master. Also don't need that. And that's it. So here we have our first instance of a fusion alarm group fusion. Yes, I know we made him before in the previous game, but I did not have one of the riders, so I wasn't able to do it previously. So we are fusing away White Rider, Red Rider, Pale Rider, and Black Rider in order to fuse Trumpeter.
You seek power beyond your limits.
Trumpeter's only 1 level above where I'm currently at. Ooh. Oh, I think that 131 also includes the fusion components.
Choose which skills
Because I need to buy all of those. Okay, so we have our choice to pick any of the skills that the other ones have. So we have Bloodstained Eyes, Mighty Gaze, Intense Focus, Relentless, and Skillful Combo. Bloodstained Eyes wouldn't be too bad, but I think I'm gonna go with Relentless. And now we have to choose all of the different skills to potentially pass down. Oh boy. Okay. Well, Null Physical sounds really nice. Wow, we can do so many resistances here. But I would very much like to try to pass down some skills. So we'll go with Masayodyne, Maegeon, Kogeon, and let's go with another resist. Let's go with Repel Nuclear.
This could bestow an extraordinary power. Be reborn.
Obviously, the look isn't going to be any different. And that's really the only group fusion that I have that I haven't already done in my previous playthrough. So don't expect that to happen too often until we get really late in the game. Oh boy! Null Physical, Maegeon and Mafredyne. No. Keep those skills as is. Okay, so we get Fortify Spirit. Decreased chance of being inflicted with ailments. I don't need Abyssal Surge. Gun Amp. Sure. Life Aid. Don't really need it. Oh, and Debilitate. Why does it have Gun Amp and doesn't have any gun skills? I was expecting it to be one-shot kill at the end. Now, well, Debilitate will be really great if I can get it. Alright, so this one is just for shits and giggles. I'm trying to remember which ones I was getting rid of for this. It was Hariti and something else. It's using a Kushinada, but I'm specifically getting the failure. Just to see what happens. I did save, and I'm not going to save Scumming. I just want to try it once.
I see.
Just to see what will happen. So what do I get instead? I get a Garuda? Okay. Garuda.
Well now, a most unexpected turn of events.
A Garuda that still manages to keep everything. Okay. I'm gonna double check to see if that Garuda could be used for any potential fusions. And if not, then I'm just gonna reload because I really don't care much for that. Alright, there really wasn't anything that I could use with that Garuda. It still wasn't that bad, especially since it didn't just completely go off track. But I just didn't really care much to have that. So let's go ahead and head back to where we were. So, we have ourselves the mid-starboard area. Now, you can see that the layout of this place is actually quite a bit different. All of the hallway areas are quite different compared to how they were in the original game. They're still very long and tedious, which means it is the perfect opportunity to try to do a history lesson.
Oh, hold on a sec, you guys.
Wait, what the shit? Life? This is preposterous. Or something like that.
Oh, go to hell, Inari. Can you just come back here?
Thank goodness, we're human again.
Looks like we turn back when we leave the affected range. It's not really a big deal.
It most certainly is a big deal. Explain what just happened to us.
It seems like people who Shido views as intruders turn into mice near those Shido statues.
So we're nothing but rodents to him, huh? That's irritating.
I agree. We need to be extra careful when we're in mouse form. We won't be able to open doors, and any enemy we try to fight in that state will beat us to a pulp.
So all we can do is hide? I guess we'll have to change to a completely defensive strategy. I hope we can find a secret passage to get through there.
Yes, that's voiced now. And again, we just have to deal with this like we did previously. Can't go through doors, so we have to find secret passages, or at least anywhere that we can go until we can disengage those statues. But again, as I've mentioned before, this is a prime opportunity for me to go through a history lesson. I did mention before that I wanted to try to do, a few various things with these history lessons, and more so try to space them out. So, before we get on over to the third semester, we will go through the 2 history lessons that really should have been done in the original game, but we had 0 time to actually do them before we actually enter it. So, we will be delving into the first of these history lessons today. And the first of these history lessons will deal with the final boss of the original game, Yaldabaoth. Now, first off, I'm going to try and get my way. I can't run like this. I thought I could run in mouse form.
Joker.
Oh, and we have a... Oh, neat. Have ourselves a will seed nearby. So, Yaldabaoth. More commonly referred to as Demiurge, Yaldabaoth is considered to be the maker of the physical universe. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is really bad. I don't want to be looking at notes while needing to go through things in mouse form. What the crap? Oh, where I need to go is over there, I think. Yup. Yoink! Whew. Really didn't want to have to look at my notes while going through that. So anyway, as mentioned before, Yaldabaoth is considered to be the maker of the physical universe, though it is not considered to be its creator. Now, while the concept of the Demiurge has been prevalent since ancient Greece, it's most recognizable within Gnostic beliefs, and is also seen as the sort of solution to the, quote, problem of evil. Which, if you're wondering what that is, the problem of evil is basically the idea of how evil can exist within monotheistic faiths, while there is the existence of an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-loving God.
That was easy.
Within the Gnostic belief systems, Yaldabaoth was born from Sophia, who is the lowest of the Aeons of Pleroma.
I have something.
Now, if you're wondering what any of that means, strap in, because this gets really complicated really quickly.
Suspicious.
Especially if you are not super familiar with the Gnostic beliefs and only spent like an hour in research.
Indeed.
Anyway, so that'll deactivate the mice statues. So, to give a very brief rundown, the Pleroma as a general concept refers to the aspects of God manifested, in which together they create the, quote, fullness of God. To put it even more simply, it's kind of similar to the concept of the Holy Trinity, where there are 3 distinct beings that together form one God. You have God the Father, which is God, God the Son, which is Jesus, and God the Holy Spirit, which is the Holy Spirit. The Pleroma are something kind of similar, though for one, they are not equal to one another, but they are, in a sense, different aspects that all together form God. And one of these, considered the lowest of these, was Sophia, which translated equals wisdom. Sophia wished to create something that was outside of the divine totality, which is just everything encompassing God. And she was ultimately successful in doing this, creating a being known as Demiurge.
I'll reveal your true form. I've got this.
Interesting, so that's what he says when using Neo Cadenza? Alright then.
I'll use my persona. I'll do this at the speed of light.
Oh sweet, everything's brought back. Now, this had some pretty massive ramifications. Oh hey, we can head through there now. Particularly because Demiurge ended up being a complete abomination. And there we go. So Demiurge ended up being a complete abomination, and Sophia was greatly ashamed at what she created, since she basically created this without help from the divine totality, and that didn't really end all that well. So, in order to hide Demiurge from the Pleroma, she wrapped it within a cloud, and then within that cloud created a throne for Demiurge to reside in.
Huh? Done already?
Oh boy, you are just right here, aren't you?
Show me your true form. All right.
Now, Demiurge, or Yaldabaoth, as it is also referred to as, was unaware of the existence of his mother, nor was it aware of anything else within the spiritual realm. From his perspective, everything that was in the physical universe was always there, and that he was the only being there. Stylish. So, Yaldabaoth believed that since it had no knowledge of its mother, or aware of the Pleroma, or the spiritual realm of Monad, that it had always been there in the physical realm, and that it was its creator. After all, nothing else was there, so how did it get there? And I believe... Oh! Aha!
It's a will seed, ain't it? We're doing pretty good so far.
We have ourselves the first of the will seeds, the VIP. First will seed is ours.
One of Shido's will seeds, huh? Nice. Let's find the rest of them.
So, after Yaldabaoth found himself within the material world, he went about calming the chaos there, and fashioning it to his own design. Unintentionally fashioning it to resemble the Pleroma. While he had no idea of the Pleroma's existence, I guess there was just something kind of in the back of his mind that kind of went towards that design. So Yaldabaoth would go and fashion the whole world, really the whole universe, to his whim. And eventually, he would end up creating mankind in his image.
Shadow.
Ooh, that's a powerful looking shadow.
Show me your true form.
And the powerful shadow is Kali.
It's strong and guns won't help.
So, yeah, pretty tough, not super troublesome if you're using the old one.
Who has a status ailment.
Oh, right. If it's still immune,
Doesn't have a weakness, but I think we could make it angry.
that very much complicates matters. That complicates matters a lot. Okay, okay. Kali's kind of a pain. Shock helps. Okay, shock helps a lot, and we can hit it with physical attacks. Even better is that it doesn't get rid of the shock. Okay. When does it go next? It goes next. Oh, jeez. That's a big pain. That's a big problem. That is a major problem. Yomi should be fine, though.
Ooh, Joker, you're looking cool.
I'm going to back out and baton pass to Skull. Hopefully with the baton pass and a Megaton raid. Not quite. Oh, jeez, that's not good. Rage is at its peak. Okay, so thankfully, Kali will use up some of her turns in order to just build up power by becoming angrier.
But fire skills. It's quick. Let's go. We ought to finish this.
Please do.
It's showtime. Pardon me.
Okay.
Ready for pain?
Save room for Let's end this.
Okay, here it comes. Rest in peace. Perfect form.
Losers.
Okay.
Again,
let's move
it is
on.
the most common showtime with me. Oh boy, lots of level ups. Lots of level ups.
Hell yeah.
And we get Montaru Kaja. Ooh. Okay. I guess I could probably get rid of Headbutt. It's just a medium. Yeah, I could probably get rid of Headbutt.
It's me,
And Mediarahan. Nice, and makes Proud Essence basically useless. Next we get High Counter. Replace Counter Strike. And there we go.
Okay.
I feel
Ooh.
like I need more.
And a chest. Just as. Empowering Ofuda. Nice. So, Yaldabaoth would eventually fashion mankind, starting with the first man, Adam. Now, despite creating Adam, Yaldabaoth could not give him a soul, thus breathe life into him, simply because Yaldabaoth had no concept of the soul. There was no concept of a sort of being like him that could exist like that. Go on through, steal this. And we just need to head south from here. Okay. So how exactly did mankind gain souls if Yaldabaoth couldn't. Well, that's where Sophia comes back into the picture. Sophia pitied Adam. She could see that there was this attempt at life within this mortal world. And she pitied Adam. And in order to give him a chance, she breathed life into Adam and gave him
I'll
a
reveal
soul.
your true form.
That was an easy win. Let's go, Joker.
Adam then thanked God for giving him life, which was not Yaldabaoth. It wasn't thank Demiurge, it was thank God, which this enraged Yaldabaoth. Who dare try to take something from him? Who dare try to mess with his world? So, in order to keep Adam chained to the physical world, Yaldabaoth created another human, Eve. And using Eve, he sought to keep both humans within his control. Now, Sophia wished for a different fate for these humans.
I'll reveal your true form.
A decisive victory.
So, Sophia wished to give these humans a chance to pursue their own fate, one outside of Yaldabaoth's control. She wished to impart on them free will. However, while she could have some sort of control over the spiritual side of humanity, she could not influence the physical world directly. So, in order to actually do so, in order to give humanity their own free will, there was only one thing that was on Earth, specifically the Garden of Eden, that would allow them free will. And that was to consume of the Tree of Knowledge. But without any sort of physical manifestation within the world itself.
Alright, a chest! Joker, it's a trick!
Just as Hell Magatama. So without any sort of physical presence within the world itself, Sophia needed to find a spiritual being who could influence the world itself in order to get the humans to consume of the Tree of Knowledge.
I found a chest. What do you want to do, Joker?
We're gonna open up this lock chest, get through this history lesson, and then we are going to call it a day. The lock chest has an immovable shirt. Great. So, Sophia sought the aid of an angel. An angel who was cast out by Yaldabaoth himself for discovering the truth of his nature, that he was not the true creator. This was the aid of the fallen angel, Satanael. Under Sophia's direction, Satanael disguised himself as a serpent and was able to influence Eve, and then by extension Adam, to consume of the Tree of Knowledge. By doing so, this granted Adam and Eve insight into the spiritual world itself, and bestowed upon them free will, which broke Yaldabaoth's control over them. This super pissed off Yaldabaoth. And as retribution, he cast them out of the Garden of Eden. And since then, has schemed in order to tie humanity to the physical world. As a result, there has been this feud ever since the dawn of humanity between Yaldabaoth and Satanael, in which Satanael would lead humanity to the spiritual world through Sophia into being one with the true creator, and Yaldabaoth, who is one to tie humanity to the physical world and keep it within his grasp. So that is our history lesson for Yaldabaoth. Now, you might be wondering, like, does that basically mean that Gnosticism is a complete 180? The devil is the good guy and God is the bad guy? And the answer is no. The reason that it basically answers the existential problem of evil is that what Gnosticism basically brings forth is that the true essence of God is beyond the physical world. The only time that anything physical was created was the Demiurge, which was a mistake and was promptly seen as one. However, the true essence of God is still trying to bring humanity to be one with God. And you might be thinking like, oh, well, is everything basically the reverse? And the answer is no. Jesus in Gnosticism is considered to be part of this, to be part of the Pleroma, in a sense. Kind of seen as a twin to Sophia, actually. So the teachings of Jesus and what Jesus taught still ties in directly to the Pleroma and trying to get back to the true creator. The only difference is just instead of knowledge being seen as just what was kind of been temptation by the devil, instead Satanael is an instrument of God rather than the adversary. And the adversary is actually this false creator, the artist who shaped the physical world, but who believes to be the creator. It is rather intriguing and also super confusing, especially when you only have just a glancery look at a specific aspect of it. So if any of that seemed confusing, don't worry, it's also confusing with research. But hopefully it gives you some idea as to what exactly Yaldabaoth was. To summarize, Yaldabaoth was a being created by an aspect of God, who then believed itself to be God, and has since essentially waged war over the souls of humanity in order to tie them to the physical world. We good? We good. Okay. So that's Yaldabaoth's history lesson, and we're gonna go ahead and call it a day here. So, next time on Let's Play Persona 5 Royal. We're not going to be doing any more history lessons, and instead we are just going to continue going through Shido's palace. There's still quite a few new things that we need to get through with the palace, and so we will just continue to show that off and just kind of jump through to all the new stuff. You might be wondering, well, what about the other history lesson? And there's another palace before we get to the new stuff, so we'll be going over that history lesson then. But until then, we still have Shido to deal with. So that will be our main focus. Until then, everyone, take care. I guess if anyone would have seen through that, would have been you. The truth is, Chihaya, I come here because I want to be with you and spend time with you.
What?
It's not a joke.
No.
Wait, you mean you didn't use the cards? Oh, jeez, now I'm embarrassed.
Just a little longer?
Sure, I don't mind.
Good night.
Oh. No, it's no trouble at all. You know, you don't have to lie. I want to hear your voice too. Night.
Wow, this is amazing! I've only seen this view on TV. As a country bumpkin, I've always admired it.
Wait, you've never been on a Ferris wheel?
No, I somehow felt like I wasn't allowed to. Because I was a monster. But it's all good now. I will no longer be swayed by names like monster or maiden. I am simply a fortune teller who provides advice to people with broken spirits, so that they will have conviction and face their future without getting pushed around by fate. That's the fate I've chosen for myself.
Well, sounds like you have some pretty strong convictions then.
Yes! Now, it's your turn to speak. What would your conviction be as a phantom thief?
What?
Sorry, I used fortune telling to find out your true identity. I couldn't help but think that you had something to do with the chairman's confession. Then I discovered that you're the trickster who causes a sensation in the world. It was the same card as the figure who helped me take down the chairman. It finally struck home for me.
So, hypothetically speaking, what if I am this trickster?
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
Good.
I don't care what my boyfriend's true identity is. As long as you're around, I can always be my true self. So, it's fine. Only, the fate of the Phantom Thieves is rather unclear. The Arcana is set in a tricky position. You can almost say it's facing both heaven and hell. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like it.
Heaven and hell? What does that mean?
I'm sorry. I really can't read this sequence. However, I'll be by your side. As the fortune teller who changes fates, I will guide you so you can avoid misfortune.
Oh. Thanks, Chihaya.
I am thou, thou art I. Thou hast turned a vow into a blood oath. Thy bond shall become the wings of rebellion and break the yoke of thy heart. Thou hast awakened the ultimate secret of fortune, granting thee infinite power.
This, we have once again maxed out the Fortune Teller Confidant. That of the Fortune Arcana. Gotta say, out of all of the adult confidants, it's weird that Chihaya is the only one that's kind of okay with dating a high schooler. Like, I always figured Chihaya was always the youngest out of all of the adult dateable confidants. Like,
Alright.
maybe around the same age as Takemi or a few years younger. Because she doesn't really seem to have much of a problem. I mean, she's obviously old enough so that way she could work at a club, which would mean that she would probably be at least 21. And some time is obviously passed. So, I mean, I would probably say that she's around, like, 24, 25. Which would be younger than, like, everyone else. Which is the only reason why I think she's really okay with this. Anyway,
Alright.
for finishing Chihaya's confidant, we can now fuse Lakshmi, the most powerful persona of the Wheel of Fortune Arcana. And we get the special bond reading. Yay!
By the way, are you okay with your girlfriend being a country bumpkin? It's become a habit of mine to hide my native tongue. And I'm not used to fancy places like this.
Chihaya, I wasn't always here in Tokyo. And for what it's worth, I think your accent's really cute.
Huh? I ain't sure how to respond to that. I'm speaking in my country dialect again. The thing is, I read our relationship fortune today. And it was really, really good. So, if you don't have any plans to steal anything tonight, perhaps you can stay... Stay with me!
Okay, well... To be honest, I was kind of hoping you'd say something like that.
don't know what to do now. I couldn't figure it out with my fortune telling. So, let's figure it out together.